Hi roses, my name is Tiana and welcome to today's video for the week ahead for fire signs. If this resonates, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, or use the link in the description box to book a personal reading with me. First of all, we have the card Yin Yang, creating harmony through balance. And then we have the message, positive news, positive outcome. We also have imagery here of stars, a butterfly, and a bird, which I believe is a dove. So this week is going to be about coming into balance. You may be receiving some positive news, some positive messages, but remember that there are always both highs and lows, pluses and minuses to any situation. And so if you find yourself receiving some kind of rejection this week or some kind of news that you really weren't hoping for, remember that that is to help bring you towards what is right for you. You're going to be coming into this feeling of harmony, homeostasis, restoring that balance. So in order to get the things that feel more positive, as well as being able to recognize those things when they come up, that requires kind of tuning inwards and being able to feel a deeper sense of devotion to yourself, a deeper sense of gratitude, and a deeper sense of awareness of what's around you. These things might come in small ways, they might be symbolic messages, but there is positivity all around you if you know where to look, and some bigger positive news that you may be receiving this week as well. So take that as it resonates. Let's see what else is happening this week. We have Hand of Cards, which says take a chance, risk, being strategic, options, not showing hand, or gambling. And then we also have the card Mask, which says not showing true feelings, hide, personify, pretend, delude, or gaslighting. So the one thing that stands out between both of these cards is possibly not showing your full authentic nature, or maybe keeping your cards close to your chest. There may be some situations where you have not been fully open or honest about what's going on, and to some extent this could be some form of a strategy. However, I think there is an importance here of being vulnerable, not being afraid to be authentic. This doesn't have to be a game or a competition. And I think a lot of the times when we approach situations feeling like we need to change ourselves to fit a certain mold, or that we can't be fully upfront with what we're feeling or wanting because that's not how you play the game, you might win in the short run, but you're going to have a harder time getting to this kind of positive outcome in a bigger picture sense. So if you want to be able to reach feelings of deep fulfillment, it's important to show up in authenticity. And that's how you actually are able to then come to even more abundance, because you recognize the importance of that balance. It is important to note that there might be somebody else here, though, in this situation that is maybe not being fully honest, or treating things a little bit like a competition, some back and forth. Maybe they're afraid to be fully honest with their emotions. So if you see any of that going on, just keep that in mind, that they might have a harder time recognizing certain things, or recognizing that you actually want them to be fully honest about this situation. But if you notice that you and or someone else that you're interacting with is approaching things in this way, it's okay for you to take that first step. We have the card Sunglasses, watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, focusing out. So the word gaslighting has now shown up twice here. So that could be significant to you guys this week for some of you. It also, again, represents that looking out, kind of worrying about what other people might be thinking, or what you need to do when you have this next move coming up. You're trying to figure out the strategy, trying to be one step ahead. But what is really necessary in terms of the bigger picture is tuning inwards and not focusing so externally, because other people are going to be doing so many different things. They're on their own paths. They might not be thinking as broadly as you are. They might have very different goals than you do. So focus more on what you're doing and your own values. Yes, lastly, we have the chaser. Chaser in a codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issue. So for some of you, that codependency, anxious attachment, any of those things could be resonating for you. That does not have to be the case. But again, this represents that energy of looking externally, feeling like you have to chase something externally, especially if there's somebody in your life, particularly romantic partners, but it could be anyone who is being a bit more cold or standoffish or closed off. That can then cause people that have these tendencies to chase even harder, to feel like we need to do certain things in order to win somebody over. And again, as I said, that might help you in the short term, but it's not really going to bring you that deeper feeling of fulfillment that you probably are really looking for. Which then we have self-indulgence, focusing on self-worth, time to heal, shadow work, and self-appreciation. So again, turning inwards this week, really focusing on pleasing yourself instead of chasing outwards or worrying about whether somebody else is doing the right thing. Living in accordance with your values, appreciating yourself. That is how you're going to bring yourself back into balance, back into harmony, and ultimately able to receive these positive messages, positive outcomes from the universe. Thank you, fire signs. I hope you have a great week. And as always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this reading. You can find more tarot content with me at my Twitter at Tianna Rose Tarot, or use the link in the description box to book a personal reading with me. Thank you, fire signs.